Okay guys, so just working on the kick, adding the clipper, because clipper, I can't say it enough, it's super important guys. We're bringing down the ceiling and then we're boosting it, a bit like a limiter, but I'd say it's a bit like a limiter, but it's a bit like saturation as well. Super important guys for these days. Adding the snare, got the rim, got the open hat, use it as a ride cymbal, and then I'm putting the clipper on the open hat, is it? Oh, I think this is on the natural shaker that I've got. So you can use the clipper to squash the sound like you would a compressor or a saturator. Initial clipper, type initial clipper in Google, free clipper. And what we're doing now, Pro Out, just getting a bit of a reverb on this snare. Just went for this short reverb for now. And then the ozone on the master, I've been trying this quick limit and it seems to work pretty well for fast drum and bass. So we've got the serums at the top, that's the fog bass, and we've got two sine waves, one's at +3 octaves, -8 semitones. Got a bunch of effects on there, we've got these crazy filters, trying to boost the mids there. Got the filter of the asim distortion, and notice I've got the smooth on my LFO, got a very weird shade there, and I was just trying to find the groove between these two MIDI notes, and I've used it like a fog with filters, and I've FM'd it as well, and we will try and do an A-B later on with this one. So this bit I'm just adding the shaker to the energy pocket. I'm going to turn it down a bit and then click on the audio clip, pitch it. We're just tuning it. Remember guys, tune your drums. That arrow there is the transients, so you can shorten all the hits, make it very staccato. And in these minimal sounds we want everything to shorten staccato. Except for your open hats. And then I've just added these shakers in the energy pockets. Just going to EQ the bass now like it is. And we're just scooping a bit out of the middle, not too much. There's quite a few muddy frequencies in the lower mids. Your lower mids will need taming, and your sub end, use the multiband for that. So we've got that nice and neat and tidy now, that shaker. It's in the background, bring the natural shaker back. All these are in sample pack 11 now. Sample pack 10's just dropped guys, make sure you go on sample pack 10, I think link in the comments. Now this I've just doubled up the serum and it's AB, AB. So I jump into the B serum and I'm going to use this delay, which will delay the start of the oscillator. So it's, as you can hear, giving us a different groove. And I put octave 4, just for some variation. And then I think I decided to just AABB instead of ABAB. Copy all these, Command D. So guys, lots of clipper. And I think right now I am sidechaining the bass with this gate. So sidechain, kick, and then press flip when the floor's down. Right, cool, yeah, I've added that. That's on the bass. on there by too much reverb. Just want a little bit of reverb to create the illusion of space, but you don't always drown stuff in reverb, sometimes you do. Right, now I'm on the kick snare. Now watch what I'm doing with this saturator. I'm driving it, but I'm reducing the output by a similar decibel of what I've driven it. And then the bass up, and I'm looking for tones at the top. I put the bass back to the other side because it gives you more gritty tones, and then with the dry wet we're just adding a bit more grit to the drums before we add the transient. And we're putting a transient shaper on the kick and the snare, and you can see how it just makes it slap much better. Really important tool. That's the kick and the snare. And also M-bit on the snare, another one, free one. Type in M-bit melder and you can lo-fi your stuff with this, make it sound like hardware, because remember the computer cold and clinical. Hardware is nice and warm sounding and powerful sounding, so we're just trying to get that into the computer. Okay, this now, so we've rounded off the top with the M-bit, we're rounding off the bottom now to create space for the subs, and I've used the envelope there with the short attack, short release, because it just makes, you can't see it moving, but it just makes the filter move with the hits, which creates a bit more movement, just subtly, which is always a good idea. And we're just going to show you how to sidechain the kick snare now, but we're using the compressor, so select this threshold, pull it down, and I'm going to show you the difference between a gate sidechain. This is a compression sidechain, so you can add the ratio up, and you can see how it's ducking the hats. We could have turned the output up there to make up the gain, because it did sound quite good. Quite a lot of groove to it, but I'm just going to show you now instead the gate sidechain, because we don't want to compress this, because this is hats and we want our kick snare to cut through. Think of your kick snare as the masculine elements, the hard elements, and then the rides and the hats is the feminine elements, nice and soft, and they are surrounding the kicks and snares, backing them up, comforting them. And then what I'm doing here is I'm freeze and flatten, because we're going to create a slight bit of subtle variation in the snare, in each snare. So I'm going to take 4 snares. What you do is you go clip transpose, and then pull it down by 1 semitone. Now if it's too obvious, you don't want it obvious, so drag it out if it's too obvious, and that's just very slightly lower pitch now than the second one. Now that, so first one and third one at lower pitch, Command and J to consolidate again, select beats, and then the transposition of this one, the transient, sorry, is short. And then what I think I did was group them all. I'm making that one short. Group them all, and they sounded good short, so we're going to make them all a bit shorter. I think the third one's even shorter. So we've got a fewer pitch down, fewer a little shorter, and it's just very subtle differences. Think of a drummer hitting his drum, don't always hit it in the same spot, which will create a slight difference, and it gives it a live feel. Remember, cold and clinical in what we want. We want it to sound humanized. So we're gonna create another kick channel, Command and T for the audio, and then I'm putting this one, oh sorry, for the snare channel, not the kick. And I'm sort of copying the shaker down below for inspiration on where to put my extra snare. But remember, this isn't a roller, so it's not actually doing extra snares on every beat. It's only doing extra snares at the end of 4 bars. So it's energy pockets. And I've subtle. I've put the track delay on the side to 17, so it's actually later than the original snare, which creates a bit of a swing. Don't want too much swing with drum and bass, but you can have a little bit. And then for this part as well on the snares, I have just automated the reverb channel. I'm going to hear it climbing up and then drop back down. You hear it now creeping in. And dropping out again. So guys, so far we've used a lot of clipper, a lot of transient shapers. Can't stress that enough, guys. Clippers, transient shapers. If you haven't got a clipper, get a clipper. Free clipper, initial clipper. If you haven't got a transient shaper, anyone knows any free transient shapers, let me know. But drum bus will work also. Drum bus transients. I need you to start taking pride in your kicks and snares, guys. Don't just chuck them in. I want them to slap. And we need to sidechain gate everything as well, because we want it to cut through. Like we said before, kick snare is the masculine part of the sound and it cuts through everything. Same with your bass woods. All your Atmos, risers, cymbals, think of that as the soft feminine features of the track. And then you've got the perfect combination of masculine and feminine. Now this is just a bit of a limiter, I do believe. I've not used it much, I'm just using it to fill out the sound a little bit more. Not sure quite what it is. Just nice and subtle. And we did add the transient shaper to the whole drum group earlier, forgot to mention. So I've used transient on my kick, transient on my snare, then I've grouped my kick snare, gated to the hi-hats group, then grouped my groups, and then added the transient shaper to the whole group. Okay? It's making it slap. This is just a little riser in the sample pack 9. Bit of you want a bit of white noise action going on a lot of the time. Now I've got a lot of distortion on my bass, so I have filled out the sound a lot. And you would want to add some energy pockets to this track. We didn't get that far with this video, but yeah, if you can add some samples or some other bass to the after 4 bars or 8 bars, you'd be onto a winner there. I've just pitched that down and I've added the Valhalla Shimmer. Really great one. It's like a long reverb. And I was just testing this on beat 1, but I think I ended up putting it back to a riser. Yeah. So guys, remember, kick snare cutting through, group it, sidechain to hats, everything wants clippers. Squash the sound, guys, bring the ceiling down, improve the bass, remember tame your bass. Basses can sound quite thin sometimes, or they can just range a lot in dynamics, so we use the clipper to squash it all down so we're getting the same sub end as the gritty end. And then I'm just doing a sharp cut on this one. Like this one off a guy called Streaky. Check out Streaky's channel if you're into mixing and mastering. Streaky on YouTube, really great channel for mixing and mastering and things. So I'm just looking at a place to cut some of these muddy parts out. And then boost the subs, boost the snare area with a bit more grip, and that's the dynamic EQ. Just making that rim and the snare just pop more. But as you can see from my waveform, we are covering quite a lot of frequencies, which is good. And then I think I did just my extreme bass and the extreme EQ on the bass. And then we're coming to the video now. Just cutting right at that sharp at the bottom end. We don't want that at all. Cut it at 21. You can't hear anything below 21. Just messing with the levels. Because we're getting a lot of clipping and matching, which we don't want. I think that sounds quite good. Let me know in the comments if it helped you. Give it a like if it helped you. And good one, guys. See you next time.